G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action. We are back for the 2025 Media Room Tour. Come take a walk with me through the Blu-rays, the vinyl, the CDs. So if this is not the first time for you checking out one of my Mancave Media Room Tours, then it's not going to be that different to last time, but there has been a few different changes in shelving and things, and that would be the very first thing we've got here. I actually have now a pretty solid shelf for all my pulp sci-fi, pulp horror novels that I've been collecting, as well as my bigger books, reference books on metal and movies and all that kind of stuff. It's all pretty chockers, but there's always room, there's always Tetris to be played. Yeah. Got some, been reading through these ones. Real Ghoul, that's volume 3. Really informal, short horror movie reviews from the guy behind Denial of God. He wrote those. We got a bunch of sci-fi and horror pulp novels. Love a lot of my horror ones. Look at that. Oh, maggots. Great stuff. And this has been one of the side hobbies that I picked up recently, and been a lot of fun, and it's forced my hand into having a bit more time to read, which I have been. So if we take a look at the room from a couple of steps across, this is pretty much a pan of everything that matters. There is general garage stuff behind me, but that's all boring. What we start off with here is some of the records. Best dad ever. Got my 7-inch collection here, not too many. I don't really collect them, but I pick up a few on my travels. So there's my 7 inches there. Picture drawn by my son when he was 5. So here we've got a couple of tubs of just sort of dedicated artists, because I had enough to fill them up, and why not? Here we've got sort of the Ifanak and the Mahaquitl kind of things. It all sort of fits in here, sort of group them all together. We've got Lamp of Murmur and then Ebony Pendant, all their stuff in here. It's a little bit tight, but yeah. And the side projects that they're involved with. All the Evil Feast stuff is in here. Hang on, there we go. Evil Feast. And over here, this is the... can't believe we've got a whole tub of this and we're almost outgrowing it. All the Svatadathus and Alex Poole and Lepredikaran projects. All the stuff that these guys are involved with. So, your Beketh Nexamus and... Haxanu, all that kind of good stuff. There's some Trolldom. Yeah, so that's what's in these tubs, and below that we have some black metal, but we will get to that in a minute. So to my left we start with some of the movies. I don't recall if I had these tubs last year, but I definitely do this year. I can't fit everything on display and shelves, so some stuff gets tubbed, and I have my category stickers that are whipped up. So clearly this is all sci-fi kind of things. This one here really should have sort of a fantasy sticker on it, because that's mainly fantasy, dragon films and sword and sorcery, that kind of stuff. So I really should change that one. When we get down here, this is the Japanese VHS. This remains unchanged. I've only picked up a couple probably in the last year. Not something that I hugely go out of my way to collect these days, but if something interesting comes by, then I'll take a look at it. Mostly I'm trying to replace my tapes with things, and stuff like this entire front row here pretty much is all those ones there already on Blu-ray, which is a statement I couldn't have made quite some time ago. All the great Bruno Mattei, Strike Commandos and Robo Wars. But there is still plenty of stuff from him that does not exist on Blu-ray, like Expendables, the original one. All my Teddy Page tapes there. None of this stuff is on anything besides these tapes, or perhaps a very low resolution DVD, but you need to go watch out my Teddy Page mini documentary to get more information about that stuff. But yeah, that's sort of the Japanese VHS. A couple of American tapes up there as well. I don't have many American tapes, but they fit up there, and yeah, that's what we have here. Next shelf down we have the Sci-Fi TV tubs. So yeah, just television shows of the sci-fi theme. I have quite a lot of this stuff, Sanctuary. It's not too hard to get these tubs out, they're a little bit heavy, kind of don't want to do them one-handed, but I can do this kind of thing a little bit. You can see the stuff that's in there, It is better to do with two hands, but yeah, so Sci-Fi TV in there when I need to get to it. And we'll take a look at the very first part of the vinyl over here, which the little sign has fallen apart. This is the Grindcore and Gore Grind section, which spills a little bit down there as well. So yeah, stuff that is a little bit more on this kind of side, I think we should say, and you know, all the gory glory and some napalm death at the front. So yeah, nice to have a little Grindcore Gore Grind section. Before we talk about these ones, I'm going to talk about what we've got over here. This is the sort of now playing section and where I sit when I film my videos. This is my turntable and all the audio gear. So I've got a Pioneer. This is a PL71 direct drive turntable. Really nice bit of kit this. I think it's from about 1979 or so. I'm running a Nagaoka MP110 cartridge, and I've just put a new stylus in over the holidays, so working that one in right now. Really nice turntable, love it. Sort of the now playing and to be played stand. Got the new dim biffer on there, and the new not so new but an old Troll Cave that I got up recently, so that'll go into an update soon. Then down here we have some more of my hardware. I've got Pioneer A109 amplifier. It's only a 2-channel amp, and I very cheekily run multiple speakers off it. It seems to cope, so that's okay, but I wouldn't mind a more powerful amp one day. The CTW208R dual cassette player. It's fine, does the job, it's been serviced, both of them work well. And the PDR W839 weird little CD player, this one. It's a 3-stack CD player on the left, and it is a CD recorder on the right, and it only records to that special music CDR format, which is, I guess most people wouldn't even really know about it. Kind of, don't know if it predates recording to CD on your PC, but it is a slightly different format. It kind of needs a service, this thing. It's getting a little bit sketchy sometimes with playing some CDs, and it's very bad at playing CDRs made from the computer. So yeah, could probably use a bit of a service, this one. But this is where the records begin officially. We start here, of course, with death metal, because that's mainly what I listen to. So we sort of go A through to D, roughly over there, with the records. Death metal continues down here. Get to about S or so over there, and then that's why we go over here, and it's a restart from about T, and we go through to where's the little divider? Just here, it's snuck in a bit. There's the black metal starting point, so up to Z there on death metal, and then our black metal A to Z starts, and that goes all the way through here. A through to C or so over there, and down here it's all pretty much goes up to, I think, around about M, and then that's when we come back over here, more black metal, picking up M or so and going through to the completion down here. And I have for the moment a little section for the Nars Alchemist projects and combination of Nagelfar and Ruins of Beverast, because again I had enough of this stuff. Those two used to be in these tubs, but they outgrew it. I'm likely going to get another tub, pop it here, and move the 7 inches at some point. When we move over here, this is dual purpose. It used to have a door on it. This is sort of storage for doing my home CDs and DVDs and stuff like that I do create my own. And down here is the Laserdisc collection, which is small, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's mostly Hong Kong films these days. So yeah, there's Fatal Chase, very rare disc, my little Laserdisc collection. But yeah, that's all the stuff that is down here that is 12-inch shaped. So opposite the turntable, and this is where I have my mount for my camera when I'm doing my video. Just see that sits there, cheap little mount. But this is the science fiction Blu-rays. All that stuff in the tubs was DVDs, except for the fantasy section. This is the main sort of go-to Blu-rays for sci-fi stuff that I watch. Yeah, yeah, we've got sort of older, sort of 70s and 80s kind of stuff up here to the 90s. Got some franchises down there, all your usual standards. Some more modern films and franchises. Yeah, we got some kids stuff down there at the bottom, sort of your 80s or 80s themed kids stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we have here in this section. And directly opposite that, we have the workbench where I do my video editing, but also we have the start of the action DVD section. We have sort of the A to Z there, you can see, of Blu-rays, and then DVDs for everything pretty much up to late 80s, very early 90s. Sort of what classic action as far as my brain is concerned. And then it starts again in the Blu-rays, and then DVDs here for more modern stuff, late 90s through to anything current. That's pretty much what you have there in the action stuff. Over here, stuff I don't talk about too much, but I do have pretty much all the Doctor Who original series, new series stuff, which I've always been a fan of since I was a kid, and now I've got my kid into it, which is really nice. So yeah, he's been rejoining me on that journey. Got my new talking Krusty doll up the top there. It's very, very cool. And yeah, down here we've got a few Blu-ray mini collections, just because I've got the space for them. We have sort of a Tarantino collection there on the left, and all the Stephen King adaptations on the right. I've got some magazines down there that didn't fit in the main bookshelf. Got a sort of we've got like all of the Noxious Ruin mags there on the left, and yeah, some music mags and some old computer mags, that kind of stuff there. Going up here again though, we have one of my pride of joy. This is a Robo-War framed poster. Got this one on eBay, very, very cheap actually. I think it came from Greece, but yeah, I love that artwork, and it's proudly framed on the wall. It's got a bit of a Strike Commando Australian poster just below that. This old Total Recall wooden plaque that I found at a charity store many decades ago. That one sort of sits there behind the ladder. The ladder's built into the wall, gets you into the manhole. I can't do much about that, but it is useful. And here is the sort of workstation where I do all the editing and my work from home for the day job. It's all going on here. So yeah, got a nice new Keychron keyboard. Highly recommend those if you're a bit of a keyboard nerd. So yeah, that's pretty much this corner. I should call out as well all the Mediabooks and Hardboxes. They have their own little end cap rack here, and a few of Steelbooks that I've still got left. But yeah, a lot of really cool stuff here from like Cineploit and a few sort of oddball German kind of releases over there. So I don't have too many Mediabooks. They're not my favorite format, but yeah, I do like the ones I've got. We're going to turn around to this side again, and you can see this is where a lot of the CDs are, and then we get into some of the DVDs. This ridiculous wall, as you can see here, is Sci-Fi Channel movies, and then the Asylum movies below. It's all very much similar stuff, but yeah, I'm a bit of a sick monkey when it comes to these things. Again, I did a full mini documentary and interview on my Sci-Fi Channel collection a year or two ago now, so do go check that out. I'll try and link both of my docos at the end of this if I remember, but yeah, do enjoy the Sci-Fi Channel movies. And as for the Asylum, well, yeah, you got to be in a certain mindset to watch some of the junk they put out, but a lot of the time it can be pure gold. So I've got a few display VHS there in the corner, and then some signed photos there up the top. We've got a Bruce Campbell, a Dolph Lundgren, and a Cynthia Rothrock, which are very cool. This old 80s Rota poster from an old video store, which I've had for a while. This Silk poster, Cirio Santiago's Silk, love that artwork, from the CBS Fox VHS. It's my inbox of CDs that I'm working my way through at the moment. We've got the Phantasm box there with the spiky ball, a few other knickknacks, the Greasy Strangler, with the pink beanie that I got from the Q&A. Of course, the Garfield phone, amazing. And I found recently a hamburger phone, so it's just pure 80s here, amazing. These are the CD racks. I've had these for a very, very long time, 20 years or so. These things spin. They hold roughly 500 each, I think, 520 each. They've got sides on the left and then on the right of each, so I have to pull them out to get to the insides, which is a little annoying, but hey, when I'm cramming so much in this room, it kind of does help out. Yes, that is Godzilla, and he is guarding a toilet paper roll of Godzilla toilet paper. Don't ask. Then we have, this is a little bit of, I suppose you could say, Kaiju Mountain or something. We've got all the Godzilla sets there. Got an Ultraman and the Ultraman set behind it. Over here, just sort of miscellaneous figures. Got a Bubba Hotep, Bruce Campbell and the zombie, well, the mummy I should say. There's the Egyptian cat that my wife gave me when we were dating 25 years ago or so, maybe even longer. Yeah, I found this Married with Children complete box set at the charity shop recently, and the very next day at the same shop I found these figures, and it was just too ridiculous that I had to just pick them up. Beneath that we have all of my cassettes, so yeah, I do have a bit of a collection of audio cassettes. These are old 80s, maybe even 70s, but probably 80s Audio Sonic drawers. I'm sure that so many of you are familiar with these wood panel things. Your parents probably had them. They do show up on Marketplace and eBay, and that's where I got these ones from. Yes, so not a huge collection of tapes, but and I've actually culled it down a little bit, but quite a good amount. This I picked up just today, a couple of hours ago, at one of my usual charity shops. I found this thing just sitting there. It is a Sony branded Dynapower, whatever that is, the compact hi-fi with room-filling sound. So, I presume it was meant to be paired with a hi-fi system, but it's got this little fine print there that maybe you can read, accessory case. So this was made to put in, I don't know, your remote controls and things. It is just a drawer, but that drawer became very useful to put in all the oversized A5 digibooks and the strange cassettes that come in, things like that. So yeah, happy to add that one to the shelf just a few hours ago. And beneath the Blind Dead collection coffin set, we start off with some DVDs. We've got all my war films here. You can see I've gone to town around the house with the old Dymo labeler. Go down there, war Blu-rays, more war films, starting to turn into my dad, or turn into everyone's dad at this point. And then right next to the war films we have all the Andy Sidaris films. Then that kicks off into the Cirio Santiago collection. Got pretty much all the Blu-rays and all the DVDs that I know of. Then we go down here to the David A. Pryor films. So that's the guy behind Deadly Prey, and all the stuff I've managed to collect from him. And down here we have the Teddy Page DVDs. Many of these very, very hard to get. South African DVDs, some German DVDs, but yeah, they pair nicely with the VHS. I think this shelf is one that a lot of people are here to see. This is the horror shelf, all the horror Blu-rays and DVDs of pretty much the majority of the collection. It is double stacked. I think these shelves were new in 2024 to replace the ones I had. The single stacking ones weren't doing anymore, so I got these double stacked ones, and that's when I really went to town with the Dymo labeler and did what I wanted to do for a very long time, which is have this is pretty much the Euro shelf down to sort of around about there. Pretty much all Euro horror films or Euro adjacent stuff like spaghetti westerns and Eurocrime. Yeah, my labeling here, if it's the sticker at the top, it means it's behind. If it's the one at the bottom, it means it's the front. So there's all the Bava films, Bruno Mattei films, Lucio Fulci's behind. Paul Nashi, I've got pretty much all the Blu-rays I'm aware of there. Diodato, Luigi Cosi, Umberto Lenzi. I've got quite the Just Franco collection coming along now. Sergio Martino, Joe D'Amato, Lamberto Bava, Antonio Margheriti, Enzo Castellari, and then we sort of get into just a general Euro A to Z here for when I've only got maybe one thing from a director or maybe two things, they don't need their own collection. This all kind of makes sense to me. When I'm looking for a film like this, I'm like, I feel like a Fulci, so I go to a Fulci shelf. That's how I usually operate. And if I don't feel like that, then, well, I go to the A to Z. A few some of the bigger ones that, they can go on the side here, like the Vampiro that's just come in. You can see how it is double stacked, so the DVD's behind it. It's not, it's a slight inconvenience, but I know where these things are. Like, the fact that this starts with a H clearly means that there's other letters behind it. It's not that hard to work out. And we get to about here, and it becomes 70s to 90s films, but not Euro. We're into sort of US, basically, at this point. I really wanted a place to put. It started off being, all your 80s horror, standards, slashers, that kind of stuff, which is mostly US. And then it just sort of grew and became basically everything 70s and 80s, up to very early 90s, like 91, 92. Basically pre-Scream. Anything that's post-black and white but pre-Scream, essentially, is in here. And yeah, I really like the way that this is all done. I know where everything is, and some of the big sets at the back there, there's your Thing set, all the bigger Arrow ones. We go back up the top here. Obviously, I didn't mention, but some of your big box sets there on the top, or the Forgotten Jali. That is also double stacked. There's more boxes behind, all the spaghetti westerns. Here we have sort of franchises. So, Terrifier box, all your usual ones. There's The Fly. My go-to ones, The Exorcist and The Omen, are right there because I go to them so frequently. All the VHS films, the Creepshow series. We go down here. We now start classic horror. So this is your sort of 50s and 60s, well, 40s sometimes to 60s really. Maybe very, very early 70s, but mainly 40s to 60s, mainly black and white stuff. A few of the collections there, like Sci-Fi Chillers is reasonably new, and the classic Ghosts has only just come in. Haven't shown this one yet on an update, I don't think. 1970s Gothic television, so that is definitely going to fit nicely there. More classic horror. Go down there another shelf. You got some of those nice Eureka sets they did of the sort of 30s to 40s films. Been working my way through these ones, for example. Really nice. They fit in just nicely like that. Really cool sets. Then we get into British horror. You see there's the label. So this is where we start with your Hammer, your Amicus, your Tygon. All those things pretty much are in here. Your Pete Walker collections. There's your Hammer all lined up, and there's some more behind it. Then down here we get to sort of Troma and Full Moon, mostly Full Moon, and again double stacked. There is more behind it, you can see there. Really enjoyed these Arrow ones that they put out in that video store box. That was really good. Probably some of the best of the Full Moons. This one's sort of the SOV, sort of shot on video horror, or very similar. Like some of this may not technically be shot on horror, might be like standard digital cameras, or just a 16mm or something like that, but it all has that grubby feeling of shot on video, and most of them actually are. So that's where all that stuff goes. And down here we sort of have more of it really, but this is the really cheap shit. And there was a period, this happens all the time, I go through moods where I just want to watch this kind of stuff, and I got a bunch very cheaply, and have been enjoying, with inverted commas sometimes, but enjoying watching these films. So yeah, more shot on video stuff there. Back up here, the 70s and 90s continue. So that sort of mini shelf in the middle is a bit of a separator. Then we go back to the main fair here with the 70s to 90s stuff. And then we sort of get a couple of franchises again, just the Howling stuff, all of the Dead films, a few box sets that are there for the moment until they need to move up the top. I've collected quite a few Shudder films, so they've warranted their own little label there. And then we get into basically modern horror. So for me, this really is late 90s up. Post Scream is really how I consider this. Most of this is 2000s onwards. So yeah, that's what we go here. And that's pretty much how that continues into DVDs as well. And we get to Z there. Then down here is, I've just loosely put this as extreme horror. So there's your Olaf Fittenbach and Brian Paulin and a whole bunch of unearthed film stuff there. I've also chucked in all of the Astron 6, and then the related films, because they sort of have that theme. They almost could go with the Full Moon selection, because it's all got that vibe. Psycho Gore, man, just rewatched that recently, so good. And Frankie Freako has just joined the pile. I'm looking forward to checking that one out. But yes, this is pretty much the main horror shelves. Over here we have some of the franchises that spin off into this tower. Your Hellraisers, your Texas Chainsaws, got Chucky box set, the Universal Monsters, the Halloween box, the Friday the 13th box, and it's all protected there by Ash and Robocop. So you can see there by the roller door that yes, this is a garage, and I've turned it into a room as best I can. We got the walls all concrete rendered 10 years ago, and then just painted stuff, and I've been making it as homely as I can. It's not too bad for dampness. I have damperids and things in here, and always let the air flow. And I'm always protected by this manly mob here from the Expendables 2, which was this was a birthday present many years ago when the film had just come out, I think. Signed there, you got a Lundgren. The fact that Dolph signed this was the main reason I picked it up. Yeah, there's a sort of authenticity photo that came with it of him signing it, so that was cool. Got a Revenge of the Ninja poster there. A few other little ones here behind the TV. There's a Extremely Rotten Productions concert. I thought the logos looked cool like that. There's a Soldier poster, original poster. But yep, here is the TV. This is where I watch everything. I am stubbornly hanging on to this plasma TV. I think it's a 2011 model Panasonic. I absolutely love plasma and the way it looks. It's sort of it's like this middle ground between an LCD and a CRT TV, I think. It's got the deep blacks. This particular model's got all the analog inputs that I still want. Proper ones, not dodgy converted things like modern TVs you buy. Proper analog inputs. Yeah, I just use the built-in sound. It does the job. Yeah, beneath that we've got a few knickknacks. I've collected a few skulls. These are the 3 Book of the Dead sets. These weren't mine. These were gifted to me from somebody, a friend of mine, who suffered a flooding in his storage room, and these things all got basically destroyed. You can't really open them. The pages are stuck together and you can see the foams coming out, but he gave them to me to use as a display piece, and so they sit here as a nice display piece. Beneath all that we have all the gear, and I'm sitting on the couch, so we've got Pinhead there on the left. He talks when I have the batteries there. I have an Oppo 105 player on the top. That's my Blu-ray player. Beneath that is a Panasonic. Yes, technically that is a UHD player, and I can play the discs, but this is a plasma from 2011, so all it does is downscale. But I do have the ability to play that format, not that I particularly do. But yeah, I found that machine at an op shop, a thrift store, for an insanely cheap price, about 1/20th of its value. Don't know what they were thinking, but anyway, I snagged it up, and mainly I use that for the HD TV tuner that's built on board, so I can get free-to-air channels in here should I wish on occasion. Next to that we have a dedicated VCD player. This is a Sony VCD player made for the Australian market, and yeah, I didn't know such a thing existed, but sometimes it pays to look at your Facebook marketplace. Some guy locally was selling a VCD player, and I drove to his house 5 minutes away, and yeah, I picked the thing up, and yes, made for the Australian market, Australian power plug, and it plays nothing but VCDs. I don't know how many Sony thought they were going to sell for that, but hey, I got it for $20 whole. Next to that we have my PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 2 Mini on top, in case the main PlayStation breaks down. That's about as far as I got with consoles. Beneath it is my original Xbox, though I don't really use that. Pretty much just the PS2. Panasonic 6-head VCR there on the right. Those Mark II machines are workhorses made in Japan from about 1996-97. You can't kill them, and that's what I use now as my daily driver when I play tapes. And beneath that is a Pioneer D925 Laserdisc player, which is also my daily driver for Laserdiscs. So this part of the collection I'm particularly happy with. These are my 80s thrash speed heavy metal tubs in old-fashioned milk crates covered in band stickers, and this is all the thrash stuff, speed metal, all the OG press stuff is all in here. I am pretty proud of this collection, to be honest. There's the label, speed and thrash, even though some of it is just, you know, regular heavy metal or new wobbum or power metal or whatever, but you know, it all has that theme. You know, and it does have some newer stuff, so you know, Eternal Champion lives in here because it's basically on brand, but it's pretty much all 80s stuff in here, and 90s stuff. There's Heathen, you know, and 95% of this is original press. That was the point of it. So yeah, I really love these tubs. A little bit of room to grow in here, but also I'm not looking for a huge amount. Like, I've managed in a very short time to, like, you know, complete the entire Nasty Savage collection for everything that I give a shit about, right? So, you know, that's pretty much, you know, where I'm at with these tubs. There's always things I want to get. I need to get the second Toxic album, and fingers crossed I may have sourced Sodom's Persecution Mania. We will find out in a few days how that one has gone. A viewer of the channel hit me up after my entry into the Metal Tag 2025 when I said the thing I'm after the most was Persecution Mania, and I received an Instagram message, so we will see how that one pans out, and then you'll see it in an update if it goes well. And here we have the wall of tubs, and man, you can see I went to town with the labels. My comedy stuff is pretty much memes. So yeah, comedy DVDs, comedy Blu-rays, cartoons all up there, all your Simpsons stuff. I've got anime, so all the Japanese things, comedy Blu-rays up there. Down here we get into the VHS. This is all my Australian PAL VHS. I don't have many. This is pretty much all the stuff that's left. You know, just things that do not, like, you know, this guy does not exist. A Cirio Santiago doesn't exist on any other format. If it's in here, there is a, you know, strong chance it's not on any other format. And that's why there is, pretty much that's the only tapes, plus the Japanese, I've still got. So, you know, I used to have a much bigger collection, but yeah, if it's on another format, I will get rid of the tape. Here, this is stuff that I wish I didn't have to tub, and occasionally I do swap out things on the shelf behind me, where I had the shot on video stuff. It used to be in tubs, and I used to have this stuff on the shelf, and who knows, I may swap back at some point. But for the moment, sort of, well, J horror lives in here, Hong Kong horror lives in here, mixed sort of other Asian horror, so Thai, you know, Indonesian, Korean, not Korean, Indonesian, even some Indian stuff is in there. There's enough K-horror to have its own box. Horror TV, so I do actually have quite a few horror TV shows, so they get a box there. Here we have my little VCD collection, two little boxes there, with my Shure scopes sitting on top. They can be easily taken down when I need to, but yeah, got quite a nice little section there of sort of Hong Kong girls with guns or Cat 3 kind of stuff. It's all pretty good. Here we have, well, I'll start over here actually. This is the games, protected by Rabbit Garfield, and protected even more by a bunch of Steven Seagal posters. But yeah, this is the tubs of PS2 games. It's all PS2 and a handful of PS1. Pretty good little collection. I'm pretty happy with how that's gone. But they fit nicely there in those tubs. And here, again, I went to town with the labels. Collections first up here. This is all, you know, like multi-packs, you know, like 10 films on a disc kind of stuff. You know, this kind of thing. all of the Sci-Fi Channel compilations and things, that kind of stuff. That's a truck that's just gone past. Below that, 70s and 80s action thrillers. So there's, I've got stuff that's thriller more than action. Your dad action films from the 70s, that kind of stuff is mainly in there. And then here, oh man, I was happy to put this one, the 90s dad thrillers. So, anything that's like The Fugitive or similar, all that stuff is in there, and that tub is nearly filled. Lots of Denzel Washington, lots of Harrison Ford, that's 90s dad thrillers. And I was taking the piss with this 2000s techno thrillers. So thrillers that were, they're more thriller than action. Sometimes they're more drama than action, sort of thriller drama things, but modern stuff. So the techno thrillers, just taking the piss. And behind that is all the TV comedy, so lots of British TV comedy. Another one of my main loves I don't talk about too much. Similar to Doctor Who, I'm a big fan of sort of 70s and 80s British TV. And it's easy to get to those. I just pull out the record tubs in front, not hard. But the ones on top, you can sort of get to directly anyway. So yeah, that's this wall of films. Here is my recliner throne. I replaced the last one. I had this green recliner and it literally fell apart. I found this one at a charity shop for $40, which was great. It was barely used. Leather recliner, properly reclines. It has my donut pillow, my giant Homer Simpson donut pillow. But behind it, so if I want to get to these things, I either have to lean over the couch or pull the couch out. Again, easy to do. This is the sort of Asian action section here, with a couple of my old Living Dead dolls up there. Yeah, basically it's Asian action. We start off here. This is all the Shaw Brothers stuff. Quite the collection. You can see a gap there for Volume 5, which comes out soon. I have to make another gap for Volume 6, which they've just announced coming out in March. But yeah, a lot of the time it's those IVL DVDs. I had a lot more of those. And yes, as each of these Blu-ray sets come out, all the Shaw scopes, often some of those DVDs get retired. I've got a sort of Stephen Chow and comedy section over there. All the Jackie Chan goes along there. Quite a lot of Jackie Chan. Sammo Hung, and a few related things there. Got some Cynthia Rothrock stuff there on the end, her Asian films. Jet Li. Quite the collection of Jet Li. Just got that Fong Sa-yuk collection in. Chow Yun-fat films. Takeshi Miike. Quite a lot of weird stuff from him. And this is my most fun label in the entire room. Heroic Bloodshed and Girls with Guns films. I was giggling like a schoolgirl as I typed up that one. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. I love that subgenre, both those two subgenres. So it continues down here. I mean, just some crazy goodness in there. Then we get into sort of classic kung fu. You got some names there like Angela Mao and Jimmy Wang Yu, but then we get into some random Blu-rays from all over the world, and then into your cheap sort of dubbed kung fu DVDs, and then we get into sort of modern martial arts stuff beneath that, modern action films, and yeah, pretty much all of the Asian action films are in this shelf. Over here is the main action shelf, sort of Western action, and I've shown this one in every update before, but this has got everything with ordered by the star of the film, and I kind of rank things by the action hero status. So for me, we've got Arnold Schwarzenegger at number 1, and then we go into all the Stallone films, number 2. We've got all the Van Damme films there. Then we go into the Dolph Lundgren films, quite a lot of Dolph Lundgren films. All the Steven Seagal stuff. Yes, I like all his nonsense, even the direct-to-video stuff. Then we've got some Wesley Snipes. I missed this shelf over here. We've got the burgeoning Scott Adkins collection. A lot of his newer stuff is not making it onto Blu-ray. Some of it's not even making it onto DVD, which is a worry. So yeah, hopefully he gets physical releases for more things. Yeah, then down here we get into Charles Bronson. Got quite a lot of Charles Bronson. Chuck Norris, of course. Yeah, and we get into a few other random type collections. I got some Nicolas Cage stuff there. We got some Jason Statham. All the Bruce Willis, even up to the very end. All the Bruce Willis. We got a bit of a growing section here of Liam Neeson's dad thrillers. They could almost go in that dad thrillers top, the techno thrillers one, but he gets his own section. And then down into a lot of sort of the B tier stuff, which is where a lot of the fun is. So, you know, there's your Don the Dragon Wilson Blood Fist collection over there. Most of Cynthia Rothrock, all her Western films are down there. You know, Olivia Gruner and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is a good fun shelf of action greatness. And just to the left of the chair we have a Blaxploitation section. Got a little burgeoning collection there of Blaxploitation films. And beneath that we end up with a few sort of action multi-packs and collections and things just to sort of round out that shelf. And that's it. That's my media room, my man cave, my listening station, my workroom. That's all in one. You can see it's jam-packed in here. I play Tetris quite a bit to make things fit, but it's part of the game we play, right? Hope you enjoyed this overview, 2025 review of my man cave. Next time will be in 2026, so maybe I'll see you in some videos before then. I'm sure I will. If you like this one, please like and subscribe. Check out the 2 videos that you can see in the tiles. Not sure which side they're on. One of those sides. And I'll see you next time.